annual orientation for not just one program, but mashallah, 3 different programs. What I will encourage that the teachers can have all of the kids move to the front. All of the kids as well as themselves move to the front so that they can inshallah participate and they can keep an eye on the children so they don't make noise and or unnecessarily talk. Jazakumullah khair. So all the teachers, please keep an eye on the students, and they can encourage them to listen carefully, because this is for the parents, and it's also for the teachers and the students as well. So I encourage everyone to pay attention and to listen and benefit. Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Inshallah, the best thing to do, obviously, is to start off with the recitation of the Quran al-Kareem. So we have here our student from the part-time Hifz program, Mustafa Ahmed. He will be reciting the verses of Surah Al-Qamar. So inshallah, he will begin. And obviously, I request all the kids, everyone, all the kids, boys, you guys all have to listen carefully, okay? No disturbing. Keep in mind, the Quran is being recited. And the teachers will keep an eye on you, okay? So inshallah, I'll request Mustafa to begin.
من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر وإن يروا آية يعرضوا ويقولوا سحر مستمر وكذبوا واتبعوا أهواءهم وكل أمر مستقر ولقد جاءهم من الأنباء ما فيه مزدجر حكمة بالغة فما تغني النذر فتول عنهم يوم يدعو الداعي إلى شيء نكر خش عن أبصارهم يخرجون من الأجداث كأنهم جراد منتشر مهطعين إلى الداع يقول الكافرون هذا يوم عسير كذبت قبلهم قوم نوح فكذبوا عبدنا وقالوا مجنون وازدجر فدعا ربه أني مغلوب فانتصر ففتحنا أبواب السماء بماء منهمر وفجرنا الأرض عيونا فالتقى الماء على أمر قد قدر وحملناه على ذات ألواح ودسر تجري بأعيننا جزاء لمن كان كفر ولقد تركناها آية فهل من مدكر فكيف كان عذابي ونذر ولقد يسرنا القرآن للذكر فهل من مدكر صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Takbir. Takbir. MashaAllah, MashaAllah. The last verse in particular that he recited, وَلَقَدْ يَسَّرْنَا الْقُرْآنَ لِلذِّكْرِ فَهَلْ مِن مُدَّكِرٍ, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that verily we have made the Quran al-Kareem easy. Right? We have made the Quran al-Kareem easy. So it's a huge incentive for not only us, but mashallah, the youngsters you see here, that each and every single one of them, right, can try to learn the Quran al-Kareem, and not just learn it, not just read it, but memorize it by heart. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make all of the youngsters here and all of the youngsters in our community connected with the Quran. And may Allah ta'ala use them to be a means of the preservation of the Quran. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make them all very strong huffaz of the Quran. Ameen. So inshallah, brothers and sisters, the fathers who are sitting and students who are sitting here, and the mothers who are upstairs and listening in, and the students as well. Inshallah, we have two main segments to our orientation today. The orientation today will include the segment of the part-time tahfidh, which essentially will discuss about what the class schedule will be, and inshallah I will be delivering the content regarding that. And then I'll request Shaykh Idris to come, and inshallah he will talk about the Maktab perspective of the younger students who you see here, who will be inshallah given guidelines and reminders about how they should attend the class, how they should, what will be requested of the parents and them as well to prepare for the class, to how to study in the class and whatnot. And inshallah, there will also be a segment which will discuss about the general guidelines of both classes, be it the uniform, be it the behavior, be it anything that discusses guidelines of the class. And last but not least, inshallah, one of the brothers will come and they will discuss about the logistics of the program, and then inshallah we will conclude. So without any further ado, we will begin regarding the part-time tahfidh. Part-time here, it means tahfidh, not like a part-time job or something. Okay, just keep that in mind. Right? Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Now, my dear respected brothers and parents and sisters, we have here a slight change, right? The change from inshallah Monday, this upcoming Monday, will be that the students, as you all are aware, they were coming at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. They would come, mashallah, one of the students would tell me, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from him and his he would tell me his father and mother would bring him. What he would do is that he would actually not even go home, which is very unique. He would go to school in the morning, 8 a.m., 8:30 a.m., whatever. He would come back from school, 3:30, even at times later than that. And then his father would actually have a sandwich ready for him, and then he would bring him straight to class. Right? So inshallah, the goal behind this is to have the students have some time at home, and they'll inshallah get to prepare properly for the class. And of course, a long day of school, then also coming to class after, the kids of course he's going to be tired, he'll need some fuel, and that's why we still go get ice cream. Don't worry, inshallah, that won't change. We'll still go get ice cream, inshallah. Okay? All right. So from Monday to Friday, the schedule now, inshallah, from Monday forward will be 5 p.m. to 7:30, and I'll share with you what the plan and the goal is to discuss within those timings in the next slide. Ramadan schedule will depend on, obviously, when Ramadan comes. We will, inshallah ta'ala, depending on the timings, as well as depending on because of course, as you know, Ramadan every year is slightly different in terms of the schedule, in terms of the season. So depending on that, inshallah, about 1 to 2 weeks before, we will remind the parents and we will let you know as to whether the class timings will be, what they will be, and what time, if there will be class at all and whatnot. So just keep that in mind, inshallah. Ramadan schedule will be tentative. It'll change depending on the season, depending on the timings. And since iftar will start coming back further, fasts will become shorter, that will impact the timing which is here before you today. The next slide, inshallah, we'll be discussing about what will take place in the class. Now, of course, any parent would like to know when the kids come here, what are they doing? Prior to this, the goal was to just have them memorize and to have them memorize as much Quran. And some of the students, mashallah, they're not getting any younger, right? Some of them are almost as tall as I am, right? Just don't get taller than me, right? But what they're doing is that they would come depending on their school timings. Right? Some would come at 4:30, 5, and the reason was because obviously they're coming from school late in the afternoon, right? And the higher grade that they get, the more busier the schedule gets. So this was also one of the reasons is that we pushed the timing by 1 hour, so we are able to accommodate and factor in for that school timing that they can come home and they can rest up at home, then they can come with their parents to the proper class timing, which is at 5 p.m. In the class, inshallah, this is our goal. And you'll notice a note, I will explain this at the very end. The class schedule will be from 5 to 6, we will do tajweed lessons. Now, the purpose behind these tajweed lessons is everything, keep in mind, ties in together. Right? The purpose of Quran al-Kareem is not just to memorize it and move on. The purpose is to make sure that each and every single student is reciting it at the best way that they can, in the best possible way that they can. And that is as per the proper tajweed rules, that is as per the proper way of recitation, how they are letting the letters out, even where the letters are coming from and originating from. Inshallah, the goal for the first hour of class will be that they learn the proper tajweed and they also apply them. What do I mean by apply them? Either the goal, inshallah, my wife also is teaching upstairs. The goal, and we were doing mashwara about this, the goal is that they will have the rules now in their mind. But one thing is to have the theory and one thing is to apply it. When they have the theory in their mind, we're going to, inshallah, open the Quran and we're going to ask them that, listen, you learned this rule yesterday, day before, maybe even last week. So where does this rule apply? Does this apply, does this apply in where, for example, ikhfa, right? Everyone mostly knows what ikhfa is, right? Where is ikhfa applying in this verse? They'll point it out. And the purpose, inshallah, is that they're going to be able to do this in a very efficient way. And that's why we're going to be discussing this within the first hour. And thereafter, obviously, mashallah, a lot of the students have already memorized Quran with me from before. They've memorized, some know, mashallah, 4 ajza, some know 1, 1.5, 2, even 3. Inshallah, the plan is to not forget all of that. That's all hard work. That's all hard work that they've put in the past, however many years they've been with us. So in the next hour and 10 minutes, there will be the manzil. Manzil means revision. Manzil means revision. And after the revision timings, there will be Islamic studies from 7:10 to 7:30. So notice, there's a time change in terms of 1 hour ahead, and there's an additional half an hour which is also added. The purpose behind this is because the tahfidh of the Quran, memorization of the Quran, is something which cannot be done within 2 hours. It's as simple as that. I'm not going to sugarcoat it for you. I'm not going to, make it sound nice. No. Tahfidh of the Quran al-Kareem cannot be done in 2 hours, right? But we want to make sure that the kids, they are encouraged to eventually learn the entire Quran. They want, and also, when the parent, I remember when we were kids, I'll share a very quick story. When we were kids, one of the family that became the reason for us to go memorize the Quran, they came up to us and we met him at one get together, and they said, my father called me. He says, "Come here." I said, "Yeah." Well, I said, I was a little kid, so I was trying to run away from him. He says that, listen, he memorized the boy who was there, who actually later on became my best one of my good friends. He says, listen, do you know he's memorized 7 juz? I didn't really focus on the word memorize, but I said, oh, I've read that much too. He says, no, you're not understanding. He doesn't just read them, he can read them without looking inside. And then of course I couldn't say anything and I just ran away, right? So when a parent sees, right, an older sibling sees that, mashallah, my son, my daughter, they can recite Quran, they don't even have to look inside, they get very happy. They get very pleased. And this is all of the hard work, inshallah ta'ala, which we know, and I have high hopes that all of the students will put in. So the last 20 minutes will revolve around Islamic studies. Inshallah, we're going to do, there's a curriculum that you have, we're going to follow that, and we're going to, inshallah ta'ala, try our best to finish all of the different books. And mashallah, the part-time Hifz students are slightly older, so there are more detailed books that we can go into. Note, this is the final thing, inshallah, and some guidelines that I'll go very quickly go over. This schedule is subject to change depending on the progress of each student. What that means is that you'll notice here, I haven't mentioned anything about new lessons. The reason being is that I want quality over quantity. We can have the kids memorize 5, 10 ajza. We can make it work. Somehow we'll figure a way, right? But the thing is, they'll never be able to recite at the level that they're supposed to be if we focus on quantity. We want to put quality. So for the time being, for all of the part-time tahfidh students, be upstairs or down, they're not going to have new lessons until their recitation has become good in terms of their tajweed. They are fluent. I can open any part of the Quran and they can recite it without even having to know where. And their tajweed is top-notch. Inshallah, when that becomes the case, then we will, inshallah ta'ala, have them move back on to memorization, and they will be able to, the thing about memorization, the more you're able to read fluently, the more you're able to do it easily. That means that if you can read any page of the Quran without ever having to look at it from beforehand, then you'll be able to memorize it just as easily, if not easier. So the goal is, inshallah, that they are able to memorize the Quran and able to recite it fluently without ever having to look at the page from before. So that's why this note is there, so that the schedule, this is not going to be the schedule, inshallah, until forever. This will be a schedule that we're going to follow for the time being. Inshallah, I have high hopes. All of the students are very smart. They're going to be done with this very soon. And inshallah, I will keep you updated. I will keep you posted on the progress of each student. I have one very huge request, that all the parents, there's a diary that I give them every day. All the parents, be it upstairs or down, the teacher as well as the student, they have to sign off on this and they have to send it home, so that the parent is able to learn, is able to see the progress of the student on a daily basis, and the student can show what's going on in the class. And sisters upstairs, I'm hearing some noise, and that's not the noise of the rain, okay, by the way. Right? I want you all to please pay attention very carefully. This is very important. All right, very important that you all pay attention, all right? And we don't want to hear unnecessary noise from upstairs. Make sure you're very patient and listening very carefully. We want to make sure that whatever is said here is, ingrained into your minds, and the boys' minds as well, of course. Last but not least, I'll end with this slide very quickly. This is just a general overview of what is expected of each student. The student must be able to memorize and revise all their lessons prior to coming to class. This goes for even the schedule change. All of the stuff that they learn in class, I kid you not, they cannot learn it when they come here. This is also a parent's effort. They have to they have to help their kids at home. They have to encourage them that, listen, did you learn your lesson? If you didn't, I'm going to tell your teacher, and he's not going to get you ice cream that day, right? And I won't get you ice cream. I'll eat it all by myself, right? Students must recite with the lesson, new lesson, with one mistake or less. If you get a second mistake, then you will not, quiet. You will not get the new lesson. Meaning, if you get more than one mistake, the moment you're about to get your second, you have to go back and redo it. They will only be allowed 2 mistakes in the sabak para. Sabak para is basically the part of the juz from the beginning where the student knows until. If they get 2 mistakes in that, then they'll be sent back. Third will be revision. There's a maximum of 3 mistakes allowed in revision. So let's just say one of the students recites the 30th juz. If they get their 4th mistake, they have to go back and redo it again, right? And that will, inshallah ta'ala, ensure that the quality of each student's recitation, each student specifically their memorization, is always optimum. And last 10 minutes, as you've seen here, this is actually the general schedule, but inshallah, when the schedule change does come back again, we're going to have a slot just to keep the tajweed review. And last but not least, we are in a very restricted time. We only have 2.5 hours with respect to the students coming in and sitting and studying. If a student does not know the first part of their lesson for that day, then it's very plain and simple. They will not be able to do that new lesson for that day, right? Meaning that if they don't know their sabak, for example, by 5:30, they will not be able to do their new lesson that day. They'll have to move on to the next segment. Keep that in mind, inshallah. And just one thing before I conclude is, keep in mind, we want the kids to, while they're sitting and studying, we want them to sit with proper etiquette, meaning that they should come with proper clothing. Inshallah ta'ala, Shaykh Hadith will be addressing this. I want all the students, part-time hifz especially, you guys have to come with thobe and a topi on. You have to come to class like that. That you can consider your class uniform, right? You have to come to class with the proper thobe and proper topi on, or you can wear shalwar, qamis, whatever you want to wear. Don't wear anything with faces. Don't wear anything that is inappropriate with any sort of inappropriate words on it, right? I want you all to make sure that you're wearing proper clothing when you come to class. And last but not least, make sure you get your book signed. This is a thing that if you don't get your book signed, then I'll have to call your parents and write a note to them, right? And I'm sure your parent doesn't want to hear that, no, he never showed it to me. It's your responsibility to show your parents. They're not going to always chase after you. And mashallah, you guys are older. So you should be able to remember that. Inshallah, I have high hopes that for these students, may Allah Ta'ala accept from them. May Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala make them all lantern bearers of this ummah. And may Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala make them all strong hufad of the Quran al-Kareem, that they are able to walk and recite the Quran wherever they go. Jazakumullah khair.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good. MashaAllah. So we'll continue with these guidelines was for part-time hifz students. Inshallah, we'll continue with the Maktab students and Maktab parents, those students who are enrolled in Maktab program. So basically, Maktab program is essentially, what is it? It is that program, basically those students who go to school and they need a basic understanding of the Islam, and they have to start learning how to start reciting Quran. It's inshallah, it's focused on those. So essential Islamic studies for everyone, all ages. We have this program for. And this program is so important that a person has to take this program no matter where the person is. Not only here, but all the parents, if they can read Quran today properly, or they can read Arabic properly, that was only because they took this program. Maybe under some other name, maybe under some the halaqat of the masjid in our places. But all of us, in some or the other way, took this program. Without going into this program, we would never be able to learn how to recite or read Quran, right? So this is very important program for all of us, not only for these students. This program is very important for every student in the community. If they are not learning this program anywhere, then how will they end up learning, and how will they know how to recite Quran? So it's very important for us to make sure that our students attend this program with sincerity and with with their best attendance. Inshallah, we'll talk about it later in our slides. So we'll start up with class timings. The normal schedule. Okay, this has. Sorry for the mistake. It's from 6 o'clock. It's mixed with the part-time Hifz students. That's why. So our schedule will be normal from 6 to 7:30. No change in this. And like Ramadan, it will keep on. We'll inform you before 1 week or 2 weeks before the month of Ramadan. We can see the schedule. Most of the students who are currently in Maktab, they already know the schedule, and those who are joining new, inshallah, is for them. That the first 50 minutes of the class will focus on individual lessons, meaning every student will come to the teacher and they will be doing their lessons one by one, inshallah. So each student will get about 10 minutes time, 10 to 15, 10 or 12 to 15 minutes of time, each student personally with the teacher. Then from 6:50 to 7:10 p.m., which is about 20 minutes, we'll have group lessons which will teach them tajweed, meaning we'll teach them tajweed collectively. So in that, we teach them how to make salam. I don't know how many students who are currently in, they practiced it with their parents. We have to ask them to practice with your parents so many times that you have to make a salam with your parents properly, not just how they do it daily. So from now onwards, if they were doing or not, it's fine. But from now onwards, if your kid is not making proper salam, you can stop them. Say, I didn't repeat it. That's what we do. If they come and say salam alaikum, that is not accepted. What is salam alaikum? Salam is an Arabic word, right? So it needs to be pronounced in Arabic language, and it needs to be pronounced correctly. So they have to say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So inshallah, from today your kid is coming back home making salam just normally. Don't make salam back. Say, repeat. I didn't hear what you said. For the boys and girls, they should make salam properly. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Every letter should be clear. Just salam alaikum wa rahmatullah, this is not the correct salam. So this is the first thing we teach. We teach in tajweed group lessons. All of them we make them repeat same assalamu alaikum, then wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. And then we do ta'awud and tasmiyah, meaning ta'awud meaning a'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. This is a collective lesson. So if the student is reciting part-time or maktab students, when they are reciting at home, you make sure they're reciting in this way. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. They are being taught like this here. So obviously we can only teach for 20 minutes, and that too for all the students. So whenever they are reciting at home for most of the time, so if they don't recite like this, that cannot become their habit for life. That will just become a memory for them. So whenever they're reciting at home, you make sure that they recite in this way, the way they are being taught. And then Bismillah, Basmala is also being taught. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Every single student here is being taught like this. So you have to make sure at home they should start doing this. So this is the group lessons, and then we continue on with every letter, the makhraj of the students are correct or no in the group lessons. Carrying on 7:10 to 7:30, which is again 20 minutes. Now this 20 minutes is for group Islamic studies, in which we teach fundamentals of Islam, like many of you know, those who are currently in Maktab, previously or last week we had exams in which they had Islamic studies. Those students who completed the full book, they had fiqh, basic 5 pillars of Islam, how to make wudu, how to pray salah, and the zakah, etc. And then adab of eating, how one should eat and what should they recite before eating, and the seerah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, etc. All these will be taught in the group Islamic studies, 20 minutes daily. So we unfortunately have very short time for maktab. To be honest, 1.5 hour doesn't do justice to complete all of these things, but that's how we tried our best, and that's how we could squeeze in. So 1.5 hour will not do justice for us, our students, to save their to be consistent with salah, wudu, and being very practical Muslim in their life. So what I'm trying to say is the parents have to make sure that rest of the day they are being very practical when it comes to Islam. They are being very serious when it comes to Islam. We can definitely show them the way, the correct way. We can guide them, but we cannot take the guarantee in 1.5 hour for each student to be 100% on the track. Yeah, students. Yes, Yasin, why are you looking back? Yasin Gibson, why are you looking back? Yes, everyone, I want everyone's focus here. Yes, you can ask later. Yes, I don't want anyone talking, please. Focus on the board, okay? Then 7:30 will be the dismissal. Inshallah, we'll talk about dismissal later, but the ending time is at 7:30. Now, those students who, all those students who don't know how to read Quran at all will start from the Qaeda, obviously. And if they don't know rules also, they will start from the Qaeda as mandatory. So all students begin their nadhira, meaning by thoroughly reviewing the Qaeda and memorizing all the rules. So in Qaeda, the name is Basic Qaeda. The pages are about 27 pages in the Qaeda. So what I'm trying to say is, if the student is consistent, right? If the student is consistent and serious, the maximum time for the student to complete the Qaeda will take about 60 to 90 days. That's it. How many days? 60 to 90 days. Excluding weekends, it will be about 4 months, 4 to 5 months. If the student is regular and the student is serious, daily he is coming and he is completing his lessons, inshallah. Because as I mentioned, the amount of pages in the book is about only 27 to 29. That's it. So if you double that, and daily, if a student is also just doing half a page, he or she will easily finish the complete Qaeda in about 60 to 90 days, excluding weekend. It will be about 4 months, 4 to 5 months. A student should finish it. That is only if the student is regular, on time to the class, and preparing their lessons properly. And if they are not completing, then obviously 1 or 2 cases might be special, that student is taking a little bit longer. But in general, this will be the timing. So the parents should make sure that when they're coming here, this should also be the exact same seriousness shown to this program, like we show it to soccer practice, like we show it to some other school programs. That times we are dead serious. We don't care that there is maktab, we have to go to masjid. No, that is secondary. Why is it secondary? These are the fundamentals of Islam. If your kid is coming here, he's learning, inshallah, for the rest of his life, till whenever he's reading Quran, till whenever he's praying and he's making wudu, he will be learning all this here. If that is not correct, if that is not 100%, if you're, as parents, if you're taking care of that, alhamdulillah. But most of us don't, because we ourselves need to up our level. So if ourselves are not like that, how can we teach them the highest level? So we want the parents to get serious when it comes to the daily coming to the class and coming on time. So that will only make the students progress smoothly and nicely, inshallah. Now, every student with prior nadhira and hifz experience are required to begin with a review of the qaida. Only after demonstrating the ability to identify and correctly apply the rules will they be allowed to commence to the Quranic nadhira. I'm sure you have seen those in the past week, those students who completed the qaida, and now they know, they can identify all the rules. When they passed their exam, only then they were given the certificate of completion of the qaida, and so that they can be moved to the Quran. So in the qaida, one more thing I will mention: after every lesson, right, 27 pages, we have about 20 or so lessons in 27 pages. So each page has a lesson, or few lessons are 2 pages, one lesson. So we have about 20 to 24 lessons in qaida. So every lesson a student has to take exam by a specific examiner. So for the students, and inshallah for the girls, will start from this upcoming week, that I myself will be taking exams of every student when they complete a new lesson, or if they are in Quran, when they complete a quarter juz. So they will be taking exam by me, and if they pass, only then they will be allowed to move forward. And if they are not able to pass, then they will have to redo the test until they are up to the point and they can complete the test. So that is necessary for all students to move on to take the test by the examiner, inshallah. Now those students who are in Quran but in part-time, so they will be doing nazara. Nazara meaning basically looking inside the Quran and reading. So student would have to pass Qaida's testing by the principal before starting Quran. Students will begin with the 30th juz and work their backwards. So we'll start from Surah An-Nas, obviously, then last 10 surahs, and then we'll move forward and we'll do the last quarter of the juz. So the last quarter is requested, or a student will have the option, or the student will be requested or guided to memorize it, and thereafter till the end of 30th juz and on and forward, all the students are they are required to look inside and read Quran to the extent that they get into the fluency of reciting of the Quran. Once they get to the point that they are fluent in reciting the Quran, then they can move, or we can also shift them to part-time hifz, where they can start memorizing completely. So as I mentioned, in Maktab, we'll make them memorize quarter juz, right? After that, we'll only focus on fluency of the Quran. How can they read? By looking inside. See, one thing we all parents need to understand: memorizing Quran is not necessary. It's not fard. Allah will not ask you on the day of Qiyamah, why didn't you memorize the complete Quran, etc. But reading it correctly, as Muslims, if we don't know how to read Quran, then what did we do in our life? Right? We have achieved everything, but we don't know how to recite the Quran. So that's the goal, inshallah. Even if the student doesn't move to part-time hifz, or they leave because they have other things to do, but they know how to read Quran fluently, and inshallah they have succeeded, because wherever they go, they can open the Quran and start reading. And that's the goal of a Muslim, that they have to recite a portion of the Quran on a daily basis, right? So inshallah, if they learn this at this very young age and they are fluent, and inshallah, to the extent that they are reciting their last 10 surahs of Juz Amma from Alam Tara to Nas correctly with proper tajweed, inshallah their salah will also be accepted, their recitation will be accepted by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will make their life easier as well, inshallah, because of that and the barakah of the Quran. And obviously, all the lessons must be read fluently with zero mistakes before a new lesson is given. So this will be tested and monitored, and all the students have to pass through this, inshallah. And how to practice, just few guidelines for the students and for the parents, inshallah. If you try to stick to this and follow this, you will see your students succeeding very quickly, inshallah. Students should recite the lessons to parents taught to them in Islamic studies that day. So daily, as we said earlier, 20 minutes is given for Islamic studies. So hardly maybe we do one chapter, or we do 2 or 3 pages in that. We teach them, for example, if you are teaching them fiqh in the first course book, Islamic studies, we teach them about the 5 pillars of Islam. What the parents have to do: what did you learn today in Islamic studies? From here, when we go home, usually it might take 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, right? If the parents can just do at least, if it's better if you sit at home, ask them, what did you do? Very good, alhamdulillah, that is the best thing. But the bare minimum I'm saying for the parents, at least we can do this. We cannot say we did not had time. In car, we don't have time. When coming to class and when going back, we have that time, right? So we can ask our students, so that how much or what did you learn today in Islamic studies? Please teach me. I don't know, and be like ignorant in front of them. Maybe you know it, but tell them, what did you learn? Oh, mashallah, you learn how to eat food today with all etiquettes. Please teach me as well. So inshallah, when they will do this, the 2 benefits: the student will never forget what they learned. Second thing, the parents will can also learn, and they can also bring that into practice if that was not already in practice. So we request all the parents to fathers and mothers to do this. And parents should actively ask students about the lessons given to them every day. They should ask, what did you do? Not just, dropping off, taking them home, like I don't mean to say it, but just like a driver coming and dropping off and taking them back. Don't be like that. Ask them, what did you learn? And what was the new lesson taught to you? Can you teach me? Or if the student, if you think he's not making progress, you come and talk to the teacher, or teacher will talk to you, so that we all are on the same board, inshallah, same page. Students who are on Quran are required to read their new lesson at least twice to their parents prior to arriving to class. So the new lesson, if they're looking inside and reading, it might be 1 page or it might be 2 pages. If the student is even not fluent, it might take 10 minutes to read that 2 pages. The parents were asking from you that, before coming to the class, either the same day after the class or before coming to class, sit with them and ask them to read to you the pages, the lessons that the teacher has given to them, so that when they come here, they at least know what they are doing. Otherwise, they come from the mindset of public school, and how it is there. They are there for 7 to 8 hours or 9 hours complete day, and 1.5 hour, they will be so confused what's going on, subhanallah. So maybe at night before we go to sleep, ask them to recite what they have done, and next day so they are prepared, inshallah. So this will be quick. Hifz class and Nadhara test. Those who are looking inside and reading Quran. Actually, we have many students, about 9 or about 11 students in our boys, and about also 11 to 12 students girls in Maktab program are solely in Quran. They have completed their qaida, so now they are in Quran. So it's very important for you all as well. When the teacher determines that a student is ready, a test will be taken by the principal in which the student will be asked to recite various parts in the Quran, meaning looking inside, see if the student is able to read fluently, the student, and recognize the rules they have learned, etc. The student should be able to recite the Quran fluently with full implementation of all tajweed rules we have taught them. If they are not doing that, then everything is going to waste, right? If a student is unable to pass, he will continue nadhara, looking inside and reading, until the teacher determines that he is ready to be retested. And nadhara can take between 4 months to more than a year. So for a student to get very fluent in looking inside and reading Quran. The highest level before starting hifz is the student should complete one whole Quran by looking inside. When the student has capability of looking inside and reading, then he will be much more, it will be very easy for him or her to memorize the Quran. Student code of conduct, very important. These are few new rules which we'll be implementing, and we'll give you some time, inshallah, to the parents and to the students as well to imply it, because it's a change. So you will get about a month, inshallah. Today is about September 4th. So next, after 1 month, October 5th or 6th is the Monday. It's about 1 month. You will have time for the parents to make sure they have all the dress we want them to wear on a daily basis. We know maybe in public schools we don't have special dress or a specific dress for them to wear, but Islam teaches us to be disciplined. We need to have discipline in our life, and this is one of the ways to teach them discipline, inshallah. Maybe not today, but later on in your life, you will thank the program for having this kind of strict rules, so that our students are disciplined in their life, inshallah. So don't take it personally. This is for the best for our students and, inshallah, coming generations. The first thing, we'll go with dismissal policies. Parents must arrive on time to pick up their children, right? The masjid is not responsible for students after class times. The 7:30 after class, if the students are doing something outside, maybe we'll stop them. But many times we ourselves are not there, and the students start fighting or something happens, we are not responsible. You cannot be coming and complaining, what you did, and you're not looking after. Our responsibility is from 6 to 7:30 if they are inside the masjid. If they are not, then it's not our responsibility. So we request the parents to, pick up their children on time. After dismissal, student must go straight home and not play in the masjid if they are alone. You will see in the next point, every student must be picked by 7:40 p.m. No one is allowed to stay in the masjid after class time unless accompanied by a parent. If you are with parent, of course you can, because parent will be looking after you. It's fine. But if we don't want any student just alone, the parents are not here, something happens to them, who is responsible for them, right? It's very important for us to take care, especially in the country in which we are living in. Besides that, we need to be responsible for our children as well. So our children should not be staying alone. They have to, if they are staying in masjid, they are playing in the ground, no problem, as long as they are accompanied and supervised by their parents. Punctuality, students must arrive on time. 6 p.m. Maktab's time starts. As I told you, 1 hour and 30 minutes itself is very less. But on top of that, if the student is coming 15 minutes late, half an hour late, 20 minutes late, they will definitely lose the lesson of that day. Okay, so we want the students to make sure to be on time. The students should come to class prepared, dinner or whatever the snacks, bathroom. Many a times students want to go 3 times, 4 times to bathroom in 1 hour and 30 minutes. Subhanallah. And I have asked students, how many times do you go to restroom in schools? They barely go 1 or 2 times. Subhanallah. Very good, because public toilets are not clean, etc., etc. You're not using, very good, alhamdulillah. But when you come here for 1 hour and 30 minutes, they want to use 2 times, 3 times. So this is more just for the fun. So we'll be a little bit strict on that. We'll minimize the times they want to go, unless it's very urgent. Wudu, drinking water, etc. These should be done at home before start of class. As I said, it's only 1 hour and 30 minutes. We don't want that much of distraction in class. Student must arrive on time. There is zero tolerance for arriving late. Many times traffic and these things. Come on, subhanAllah. If we know we have to be in masjid 6 o'clock, we can leave 20 minutes early, 15 minutes early. Leaving 5 minutes before and saying there was traffic, that doesn't make sense, right? So we try our best to be on time. If a student arrives late more than 2 times in a week, the teacher has the right to not allow him in class. This is one of the new rules. If you're coming daily late, there is no benefit of coming to the class. So as a punishment, the teacher might not allow the student to be in class. And if it is if it is everyday story, then as a punishment, the teacher can ask them to go home that day. Absences, if the student is sick, is unable to attend the class for the day, parents are responsible for notifying the teacher. Either you notify the teacher directly, direct number, or we have Maktab group, right? So please notify on that, so that we know, we don't have to worry, okay, where is he today? Maybe the parents dropped them, but they didn't come inside, etc. So it's problem. We will be worried. So you have to make sure that student is the parents notify the teachers about the not coming and absence. Appointments should be scheduled. We try our best to schedule the outside of class hours. Holidays should be booked according to yearly calendar. If a student needs to miss some classes, permission must be sought prior to booking. It shouldn't be like after leaving they are messaging. If you have something planned from before, please still inform so that we are updated. See, each absence of the student will hinder the progress of your children. It will slow down, and at the end of the year, will be like, why my student is not completing the qaida? But if he's skipping every second day of the class, when he is back in class, then he forgets the lesson he did previously. So we cannot expect that student to move forward. If he's coming twice a week or maximum thrice a week, then definitely the progress will be slower. Those students who come daily, look at them. They have definitely completed the qaida in 6 months in our past 1 year. Those who were regular and those who were very serious and the parents were serious, the students have completed in 6 months. Those who didn't know how to read Quran at all, they didn't know the letters alif, ba, ta, tha. Today they are able to recite the Quran. Today they are able to identify the rules. As I said, few are exceptions, but in the regular students, that's what will happen. This is very important new thing we are inshallah implementing. As I mentioned, we will be given a month inshallah. A student must not wear any clothing with the pictures recommended, and we want all the students, will give a mark if the students wear a white color jubba or a kurta with a shalwar and idar, the pants, then they will be given extra points, and the end of the year will give them the student who are regular with the dress code. And if they come like this to the class, they will be awarded for that as well, for being disciplined. And this is highly recommended, because obviously, not to say anything wrong, but all day long, all the week, they are just wearing normal clothing. We are not able to identify between them and the other kids outside. We are not able to identify whether they are the students of the Quran. We are not, to the extent that we are not able to identify if the difference between Muslims and non-Muslims, right? If the kids are standing outside, a third person will not be able to say that. So we try our best. So we this is the place where we are learning. So we request all the parents for the boys that they wear a white jubba, or a thobe or a kurta, with white pants on a daily basis, and they have a white topi on, so like they look like a student, inshallah. We want them to become like ulama and the scholars. We have to at least try to resemble like them. If we try to resemble like them outwardly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will change their batin, their inner words as well, inshallah. So we recommend, all the parents highly recommend for the boys that they make sure that they wear this clothing. So we'll start marking up after 1 month, so that you have enough time to, if you don't have, you can buy, and you can get your sizes, etc. So we'll start marking and giving marks for this as well from October 5th, I believe, which is the second week of October, inshallah, so that at the end of the year, your student can be appreciated for being very disciplined. No shorts, strictly not allowed in Maktab program. Any student coming with shorts, you're not allowed to sit in class at all. A tight, very tight pants where we can see the shape, not allowed, or other casual sportswear, not allowed, because they are not appropriate for the student of the Quran to wear. All clothes must be above the ankles and including the pants. White topi, kufi must be worn. Everyone should, this is necessary for all the students. For the boys, they have to start wearing your topi. Many students, they say, we don't have. SubhanAllah, how can a Muslim household not have a kufi or a topi? This is the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? So at least when we, besides the point, this is the class discipline. We should send them with these so that they become disciplined, inshallah. So from October, again, the 5th, we'll start marking this so that the student can get points who are coming regularly, disciplined, inshallah, they will get points. The t-shirt beneath the jubba or should be free of pictures. Clothes must be clean and should be ironed on a regular basis. Obviously, it should not be, in a very bad shape or form. It should be clean and tidy. Electronics and belongings strictly not allowed, prohibited. Students should refrain from bringing any of this. If for any reason student is bringing, they have to come and give it to the principal. So that at the end of the class, the principal will give it back. But a student is coming with it and keeping their phone, and sometimes we see them playing with it, then then we'll have to take some strict actions, like it's written here, that electronics, excluding phones, gaming consoles, smartwatches, all these are not allowed, inappropriate. And if it is on regular basis, we have to talk to parents and confiscate it as a punishment, inshallah. Conduct and behavior. Students should treat fellow students, teachers, staff, and masjid attendees with courtesy and respect at all times. Masjid Yusuf has zero tolerance for bullying. Not allowed. Anyone found doing that in class times, then the strict action will be taken regarding that students. As I mentioned, in class times, out of class time, we cannot take the responsibility, but we'll try our best. Respect the rights and property of others. Any behavior that interrupts learning and distracts other is prohibited. Failure to comply by any of the rules will result in disciplinary measures. Disciplinary actions for minor violations include, but are not limited to, verbal reprimand. The teacher will reprimand, or the principal, stand up or sit facing the wall, etc. Sit in a spot separate from rest of the students. These are the punishments I'm saying we can give to the students. We will be giving to the students if they do not, if they violate any of the disciplinary measures. And the major violations includes and not limited to being immediately sent home, suspension for a few days, meeting with the teachers and the principal, eventual expulsion from the Maktab program or the Hifz program. And how to succeed, few guidelines for all the parents and students. Listen carefully. Make the Quran our companion. Make it companion, make it a friend. Create a Quranic culture and environment by reciting Quran with your children. For the parents, this will help instilling the love and importance of the Quran. They will learn the love of the Quran in Maktab. They go home, they see their parents are detached to the Quran. They are not connected to the Quran. So two opposite things they are learning here. Subhanallah. So we want the parents to also read some Quran in front of the students so that they know, this is something very important for us in our lives as Muslims. This perhaps the most critical yet oft neglected element. Involvement. Engage with your child daily and review his progress. Review and sign book for the part-time hifz and the maktab students. You ask them what you did, and you ask them to teach what they have learned. The daily this involvement is not found in our students. Maybe barely 1 or 2% do it, but most of the students don't do it. So I request the parents to engage with your child on a daily basis on what they do and what they are learning on a daily basis. Please. So that will help their progress and review what they have done. Again, for success as Muslims and overall halal, ensure that any halal enters, only halal enters our home. When it comes to the bread, when it comes to the candies, when it comes to the drinks, subhanallah, these things have so many ingredients which are not halal. We have to make sure before buying it if it is halal. When it comes to the meat as well, we eat only zabiha. We make sure we only eat zabiha halal, and we don't eat anything machine cuts or these things. These are the ulama has clearly said the machine cuts are not halal. So the parents have to be very strict from what they are eating, where they are eating, and they have to make sure that eating zabiha halal. They are not eating anything else besides zabiha when it comes to the meat. And the success, we need sacrifice as parents as well. To achieve success, all parties must be mentally prepared and willing to sacrifice to prioritize our students' Quran. Some or the other sacrifice is needed. Like, for example, for students will have to sacrifice their video games. Subhanallah, your students, I've asked them in the previous weeks when they were off, in their summer holidays. You check your students' iPad screen time, their TV screen time. It's exceeding 6 hours in a day. Subhanallah. Exceeding the screen time is exceeding 6 hours a day. Then what can we expect them to learn in 1 hour? Because the Quran has no screen, there is no pixels in it. When they are learning qaida, is only flat one page. That's it. And when it comes to the screens, thousands of pixels and screens changing in a minute. And if they are doing for that for 2, 3, 6 hours, what can we expect them from to learn and recite the Quran? It's very important. Ta'aleem, daily reading as a family from any Islamic book such as Siratul Mustafa, Virtues of the Quran. As parents, we should sit with our students and do maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes halaqat at home. So the environment of our home is also changed, and they also learn this on a daily basis. Respect of the teachers is ultimate key to success. Avoid sins at all costs. The ilm of the Quran and Islam is impossible to attain if one is involved in the disobedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sins serve as a barrier between this pure knowledge and our hearts and our minds. So very important. And now, inshallah, we'll call upon the admin to discuss the logistics of the program and give the overview of the program, inshallah. So these were the guidelines and how to succeed and etc. for the Maktab, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, ahsan jaza. We hand over to the admin, inshallah, and they will take over from here. Jazakallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. My dear sisters upstairs, please, I'm hearing a lot of noise from upstairs. Can we please pay attention to what is being said? Sisters, please calm the kids down and listen to what is being said. It's for your own benefit and the benefits of our kids. Okay, so basically, I'm going to go over the fees, okay, and the structure of the fees. Alhamdulillah, these programs, they're, not all the massages are running these programs, and these are very important programs. When my kids were growing up, I keep mentioning this over and over. We had no massages and we had no programs like this. I had to send my kids back home to learn the deen. So cherish these programs and evaluate them because they are really, really important to the growth of our kids, especially when your kids go to public school for 7 to 8 hours a day. How much time do you have left to teach them? How much time do you have left to spend with your kids? These are the programs that we need to really, value and make sure that we always bring our kids to. Okay, as far as the fees goes, okay, the first child is going to be $100. The second child is going to be $85. The third, $75, and fourth child and onward is $65 each. And the part-time hafid is like $150, and the second child is 10%. Brothers and sisters, we have a huge expense when it comes to the salaries of the teachers and the huffaz. Okay, we have between the imams and all the teachers, okay, close to $10,000. So we will be enforcing the fees, and please, make sure that you abide by it and make sure to pay the dues for your children. Now, the fee discounts are basically, it's a one by one base. Okay, so you have to basically fill out the form so you can be qualified for the discount for your kids, and the waiver or the discount must be approved by the admin. So don't assume you are automatically approved. Okay, the approval has to be done and communicated by the admin. All the payments are due before the 15th of each month. So please make sure that you fulfill your dues by the 15th of each month, unless otherwise has been communicated to the admin or you are set up on a recurring payment. If payments are delayed for some reason, again, make sure that you communicate to the admin so that way they will know that you are basically running late or you have set it up on recurring payment. And the last thing, basically, alhamdulillah, the teachers are doing, mashallah, great work. And they are basically trying their best to deliver high quality education. It is not just the teacher. It's not by just to bring your kids over here and just forget about them and come back and pick them up 2 hours later. Also, the parents bear the bigger responsibility in trying to make sure that their kids are basically keeping up at home, okay, with what's being taught at the masjid. It's very important to really do that. And also, again, brothers and sisters, please, we have to make sure all the fees are paid. We have a lot of expenses, and we cannot afford to really basically go on without collecting the fees. We have a huge expenses for the teachers, and we have to make sure all these are fulfilled. So please abide by all the rules so that inshallah your kids will continue coming to the masjid and benefiting from these programs. Jazakumullah khair for coming. And I want to emphasize on one more thing, please, 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 especially for the sisters upstairs. Sisters, please, okay, you have to always make sure to communicate to your kids the value of discipline inside the masjid, okay? Inside the masjid, sometimes things goes, basically unorganized way. One last thing for the brothers and the sisters who did not come, because this thing over here is being recorded. So inshallah, we will be sending this to the parents who did not attend as a disclaimer, so that way they will know what are the rules, what are the code of conducts, and what are the fees. Jazakumullah khair. Yes, brother Sheikh Adris, he said, we have 11 teachers to really be able to conduct these programs. 11 teachers to really make sure that we are really delivering good quality education. Sisters, did you hear what I said? Sisters upstairs, did you hear what I said? We have 11 teachers. I just want to make sure because I'm hearing a lot of noise from upstairs and I don't think they're even listening to what I'm saying. Jazakumullah khair wa barakallah fikum.
Yes, if any parents have any questions, please feel free to ask. And secondly, all the parents who are already in Maktab enrolled or new, you have to re-register again at the back, inshallah. So please make sure you do that before leaving. Re-register the students. And if you're enrolling a new student, then you can do that as well. Anyone who were enrolled previously, they should re-register and enroll the students again, inshallah. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. At the back, you can see the table. The brothers are there, inshallah. The admins are there. You can register there, inshallah. And who's there? How the girls are doing upstairs? How the girls are doing upstairs? How the girls are doing? We have the table upstairs as well for the girls whose fathers are not here. If the mothers are there upstairs, please do the registration upstairs. Make sure, because without registration, the student is not allowed to sit in class. With respectfully, the student will not be allowed if they are not registered. Jazakallah khair. If you have any questions, feel free to ask the teachers, and we are always here anyway, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Yes, please. Salaam.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمدا وسيلته والفضيلة وابعثه مقاما محمودا التي وعدته إنك لا تخلف الميعاد